Hey guys, I'm Rogut and this is my rant. We believe in the diversity of thought here. So let's get into the topic today. So I'm going to start with the first finance video in the series. We have money topic on the channel that's a little different. It's a little bit more hobby-ish centric with a little bit of useful information sprinkled in there. So this is kind of like the same series, but I'm just going to title it something different. New idea, new series, new concept, new everything. Well, maybe not new everything, but yeah. So short topic today, just like kind of like an introduction to this finance type of thing. So developing a financial education brand is easier said than done, but every little step counts, right? So I wanted to develop my own ideas and my own businesses and stuff like that, and I'd like to inspire more people to do the same thing, because the more people that have all their eggs in one basket, and the more people who are, financially, illiterate and stuff like that, and so it's just, I just think outside the box, and I've just been trying to do a lot more of that lately myself. So today's topic is saving money and why you shouldn't do it. So going way back, I don't know an exact year, but interest rates used to be higher than they are now. We've had record low interest rates for over a decade now. And it all has to do with the economy, but I'm not going to get into that because that's a huge topic, a big can of worms and stuff like that. So, but back when my dad was my age, or back when my dad or my mom were like 10, and my grandparents were middle aged and stuff like that, interest rates were higher. So most people were actually rewarded for saving money. You put money in a savings account and it gains a little bit of interest, like 5%, 6%, whatever the percentage was back then. You were always, you were always rewarded for saving and stuff like that. And of course, your money is always safer in a bank versus at home, and because most banks are FDIC insured these days. So, but there's some people out there who don't trust big banks, and I'm one of them. But hey, if you don't trust big banks and you want to hide under your mattress or put it or bury a hole in your backyard, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But I'm talking about modern saving. Now, the main topic of the modern saving is that savings rates are virtually nothing. They're like fractions of a percent at this point, and the Federal Reserve basically dropped the federal funds rate down to 0%. Now what that means is interest rates are essentially zero. And now the next stage after that would be negative interest rates. Japan introduced negative interest rates back in the day. And it's up to the US banks to determine if they want to lower their interest rate down to zero. Like after the Fed, bangs the hammer, Bank of America or Wells Fargo or whatever bank that you want to think of, be like, oh, well, our interest rate is 0.02, but we're just going to keep it there for another month, and then we'll make it 0%. It depends on like what the banks want to do. So why I say you shouldn't save your money is because you're punished for saving. Essentially, if you have a good bank with no BS fees and stuff like that, that's great. But if you have your money in a savings account that has a 0% rate, which eventually the rates might eventually go negative, you'd be paying the bank to hold your money for you. So that's something to keep in mind. So, but an alternative, that's why there's an alternative to this scenario. Now, if you want to deal with an online-only bank, Ally Bank and CIT Bank are two good options for higher yield savings accounts. But again, they're online banks. You have to check their network of ATMs if you want readily available cash and stuff like that. So there's pros and cons and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's important. It's important to have some savings in the bank, a good amount in the bank to, pay your bills and have a tiny little bit of savings, and then have some cash on the side. And then, if you want to invest in precious metals, hedging against inflation is a good idea, and that's what the metals do. So, yep, that is the topic for today. I hope you enjoyed. Now, if you like the content, I want you to hit that like button because it helps the YouTube algorithm or whatever it's called. And if you didn't like the video, if you didn't like my face, if you don't like my Patriot sweatshirt, and, you know, if you're just in a bad mood, smash that dislike button. It gives me a chance to improve, make better content, and maybe even make more content like this. So, you know, if you want to see more, just hit that subscribe button. And then, you know, if you want to be notified when new videos come out, just hit that little bell next to it, ding-a-ling. And then maybe it will work, maybe it won't. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed, and have a great rest of the day. Stay safe out there.